guys, it's Izzy here, and today I'm going to be showing you some of the books that come out in May, some new releases. So definitely open Amazon or wherever you buy your books in the next tab, because you might want to pre-order or order some of these. Won't be purchasing any of these just yet, which is kind of sad, but I am focusing on reading contemporary books in May, and there's just no contemporary books releasing in May. There are not a lot of books coming out this month for some reason. I'm not sure why, so if y'all know, let me know. But the first book we're going to talk about is Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which has already released on May the 3rd of 2022, the year this video is being filmed. So Emily Henry is an author that I'm kind of scared to get into because those books are very hyped. They're very popular, and that usually if I go in with big expectations like that, I am expecting that I'm not gonna like it. So it is kind of good to go in being like, I think I'm gonna hate this book because everyone loves it because I'm a hipster or whatever. But then I will actually enjoy it. That has happened sometimes, but sometimes it hasn't. So hype, in my opinion, is an okay thing. It's not great, it's not bad, but let's get into what it is about. We love that my phone closed the screen. So, an insightful, delightful new novel from the #1 New York Times bestselling author of Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation. I thought those were the same book, but okay. One summer, two rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. Nora Stevens' life is books. She's read them all, and she is not that type of heroine. Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister Libby, which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina. Main reason I'm picking this book up, it's about books and North Carolina, like, yeah. For the month of August, when Libby begs for a sister's trip away, and the visions of a small town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story. But instead of picnics and meadows or run-ins with handsome country doctor or bulging four-armed bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It would be a meet cute if not for the fact that they've met many times and it's not been cute. If Nora knows she's not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero. But as they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences no editor worth their salt would allow, what they discover might just unravel the carefully crafted stories they've written about themselves. So, I mean, it sounds fine. I like books about books. I didn't like the one romance I read like that, so hopefully this is different. And then North Carolina, will Emily Henry do a good job with the North Carolina setting? Who knows? I'm very picky about it, so that could not be good. So then we have This Time Tomorrow by Emma Strobe, and this comes out tomorrow, which is, or the day you're actually watching this, May 17th, 2022. So this is a science fiction. So what if you could take a vacation to your past? With her celebrated humor, insight, and heart, beloved New York Times bestseller Emma Strobe offers her own twist on traditional time travel tropes and a different kind of love story. On the eve of her 40th birthday, Alice's life isn't terrible. She likes her job, and please don't claw my chair. Even if it isn't exactly the one she expected, she's happy with her apartment, so you get it. She goes back in time to her 16th birthday. I can dream of that. I wish I could go back in time and tell myself to wear my retainer, don't be scared of the dentist, or else you are not gonna get a man. No, but I wish I could go back. So I think it should be interesting to see what this person will do going back to 1996 to her 16th birthday to tell what she would tell her former self. Then we have a historical fiction, which is Bloomsbury Girls by Natalie Jenner. This one also comes out the day this video comes out, which is May 17th, 2022. So the internationally best-selling author of the Jane Austen Society returns with a compelling and heartwarming story of post-war London, a century-old bookstore, and 3 women determined to find their ways in a fast-changing world. Again, it's historical fiction for one. I'm always going to look at the historical fictions that come out every month, but it is a book about a bookstore. So, and then they interact with various literary figures of the time. I'm not going to list them, but it says these 3 women with their complex web of relationships, goals, and dreams are all working to plot out a future that is richer and more rewarding than anything society will allow. So it's only as good. Sounds very feminist, and I have seen a lot of people be excited for this one. We have another sci-fi, and that is City of Orange by David Yoon, and this comes out on May 24th. So a man who cannot remember his own name wakes up in an apocalyptic landscape, injured and alone. So that's our first sentence. We only look at the first and last sentence. Those are the most important sentences in a paragraph. So this imaginative and affecting new novel is beloved, best-selling, and award-winning author David Yoon at his finest, thought-provoking and heart-piercing, by turns funny and challenging, and at all times deeply human. So I love apocalyptic books. I don't know why. This is something I've discovered this year, is that I really like those kind of science fiction. And then at times deeply human. I love books about being human and what it means, and I like it a lot in sci-fi situations because it's a lot of comparing to aliens, cyborgs, robots, all sorts of things, comparing what makes us human and what makes us not human, I guess. And I just find it a really interesting thought piece. So then we have The Last White Rose, a novel of Elizabeth of York by Alison Weir. This came out May 10th, and I've read 2 Alison Weir. One was a 5-star, but it was literally one of the first ever books I read on this channel. And then the other was, it was alright. But this time period, like Elizabeth of York is my favorite queen of England. So I do want to know more about her. I have not read any books on her, actually, which is amazing that I haven't. I've been to the woman's grave and haven't read any books. Oh my gosh. But the description here explores the life of Henry VIII's mother, Elizabeth, the first queen of the Tudor dynasty, in this stunning historical novel. Elizabeth of York is the oldest daughter of King Edward IV, flame-haired, beautiful, and sweet-natured. She is adored by her family, yet her life is suddenly disrupted when her beloved father dies in the prime of life. And then it goes on how she has to, the marriage is happy and fruitful, not only uniting the warring houses of Lancaster and York, the red and white roses, but resulting in 4 surviving children, one of whom is Henry VIII, who will rule the country for the next 36 years. So it just goes, Alison Weir's books start when the character is a child and goes all the way to their death. So I do really like that we get to know their whole life. Again, we do have to remember these are fictional. I know Philippa Gregory did The White Princess. I have not read the book, but by here it's like sweet-natured. On the show, I would say Elizabeth of York is not a sweet-natured person. I do really like her character, and it's Jodie Comer, like, love her. Probably my like favorite current actress. And so it's, the TV shows and books are all dramatized, so we do have to remember that with historical fiction that is about real people. Then we have a romance, and it is called It Takes a Villa, and it comes out on May 24th. So this one is literally barely any reviews or anything, but I did see it on a list and I thought it sounded interesting. So for the reasonable price of $1, Natalie Malone just bought herself an abandoned villa on the Amalfi Coast with a detailed spreadsheet and an ancient key. She's arrived in Italy ready to renovate, I can never say that word, and only 6 months to do it, which seemed reasonable until architect Pietro, I'm not even going to try the last name, began critically watching her every move. So I guess it's a romance between her and the architect, but just thinking of getting an old house in Italy, oh my gosh, it's a dream. I don't know if I'd want to be on the coast. I think I'd want to be more like inland, like Tuscany, but still, it's amazing. Italy, love it. We have our last book here that literally has only a 1.5 star, but there's only 2 ratings, and they're from like a year ago, so I don't know how reliable that is. So this is The Windscale Incident by Paul Kearney. So, and this comes out on May 20th, so later this week, I think. A blistering 1950s alt history apocalypse. So I'm not a huge fan of alt history. I'm not a fan of writing it, so I don't know if reading it I'm going to feel different. but it is a apocalypse that marks the beginning of the major news transmedia franchise. So it's Great Britain in the mid-1950s, so it's like if they got nuked, I guess. Oh, the simultaneous meltdown at the Windscale nuclear reactor and the Calder Hall sites in the north of England killed thousands. So you get it, it's a nuclear, in the 1950s, so there was a nuclear meltdown in Britain. That sounds very fascinating, and I think I might like that since it is kind of science fiction-y. I like it, but I don't know. I'm scared about alt history, but this seems like alt history that could actually happen. It's not like alt history with dragons and wizards and all thrown in. Like, nuclear reactions are a thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!